Hi everybody, welcome back to another Techu Tuesday. I'm your world champion and host Alvaro, and I will be sharing 1 full hour of Techu on the chair, our favorite game here, the game we love the most because of its uh, technical, or I should say, demanding skills from you. You know, you have to know exactly how to go around certain strategies, how to plan your next move and your probably next 2, 3, or 4 moves down the road. So this is an interesting game that we're going to share for a full hour. And without further ado, let's start our very first match of the evening. So as always, we start drawing 3 cards and we play the lowest card on hand. There are certain exceptions to this rule, but in general, we want to start with the lowest card we have on our hands. And right now it's a number 2. The AI play a 6. So we're going first. And right now, with these cards I have on hand, I usually want to go forward. I don't want to spend these medium cards on random spaces or building a backup strategy. So I just go forward with this. Now I just drew a number 2, and when you're playing against the AI, specifically the AI, since it's designed to play in one way only, based on the cards it has, then you want to give him the chance to start a confrontation. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna play these two here on a side lane and wait to see what it does next. Okay, so it played sideways. This is a clear indication the AI doesn't have very strong cards. At this point, you can choose to go forward and start and then you can start your the confrontation. You are very likely to succeed when the AI has played very low cards, 6 and 5s, and it's decided to play sideways. Of course, we have a queen, but we don't know exactly what the AI has. It may or may not have something higher in the next turn. So we're just gonna play around a little bit. We are playing relatively lower cards, and look what happened. The AI went for the middle spot. That's because he drew an ace or a king. I can't think of anything lower. Uh, the AI might have on hand when it decided to move forward after it went sideways. So if he had lower cards, nothing but low cards, it would have still played sideways. Maybe here, maybe here, maybe next to this 9, because this is a space that it can take without any compromise, without compromising his position, without causing any confrontation. Because I didn't play here, but it decided to play in the middle. So luckily we drew this A here, and we're gonna play it without any question. This is a no-brainer at this point. Okay, we have nothing but medium and high cards, so we're just gonna play this 8 over the 6 here. It's definitely gonna take it back, but that's expected. Now at this point, it's a hard decision. In general, I personally like taking these two middle spots back with aces. Back-to-back aces tends to be a very strong strategy for me. Like I win over 90% of matches where I play back-to-back aces. I don't want to play a queen because there's a chance he has an ace on hand. It's gonna block me with the ace, and it's not game over for me. But of course, it's not the desired way I would want to play. On the other hand, I don't like playing eights on empty spaces. So we're just gonna go with playing the queen. I could have gone either way, but right now I decided to go with the queen over the jack. Okay, now this I feel more comfortable playing on an empty space. Look at that. The AI is still looking for a confrontation. So you know what it has on hand. I could easily take that A with a queen. I don't want to play face cards just yet, so I'm just gonna play around here. And we're gonna take that 7. Ooh, look at what we just drew. Okay, that was probably the other card he wanted to play, but of course, there's a chance he might have another ace on hand. Who knows? I mean, the chances are very slim at this point. Look at, if you consider how many cards it might have, it still has left to play. 14 on the deck, and then 2 on hand. 16 cards. It's 1 out of 16 chance it has another ace. Well, not one, maybe 3. I don't know. You do the math later. We'll do the math later, but there's a very low chance he has an ace on hand right now. But it's still a possibility. Okay. So it doesn't have any other higher cards, and right now I want to play these 3 here because I know it's going to play a higher card than me. Oh, it didn't. It didn't happen. Okay. It would have been nice. It would have been great if the AI started playing something higher than this 3, because when both opponents are playing cards on empty spaces, the one playing the higher cards would usually regret that at the very end of the game. It didn't happen in this case, so I don't want to keep wasting more cards and empty spaces, because maybe that's going to be my loss later. So I'm just going to take that 8 with this 10 over here. And the battle continues. We're just going to keep moving. Ooh. It's holding on to it. And now we drew the other ace. Not the end of the world yet, but things could be better. Okay, it looks like things have started to turn for the better. We have these ace here. Okay, look at that. This is good for me in general, because I already played both aces, and that was the one card I couldn't stop. It already played it, and on the other hand, I do have a card that the AI won't be able to stop. So I still have, you could say I have the upper hand right now, but if you look at the score, I'm down. I'm down by 2 points, so I have to recover from that, and I think we'll be able to make it. Don't count your chickens yet, but I think that's the same. Don't count your hens or your chickens just yet. I mean, don't get too excited. But there's a good chance we're gonna win this. I don't want to play that king yet, but we're right at the last stretch. Okay, good. There was another no. There was another queen here. I know that. I can't flip it because I can click 2 cards right now. I'm on a computer, but I know there's another card right down there, so he won't be able to stop that jack. That's what I was going at. And look at this. We have 2 cards left each. I know he won't be able to stop this, so he's gonna have to play on an empty space, and even if he can take that 9, it's not gonna matter. Got our first win of the evening. The best way to start a Techu stream. Remember, guys, we never end Techu streams with losses against the AI. So let's hope we end with another win. I mean, we don't have to hope. We are gonna get a win before we leave. So let's just get as many wins as we can during this live stream. Okay, the AI drew a very high card, a jack, on an empty space. So these cards are either a jack and queens, anything higher than a jack is probably the case. So we can go sideways on this, but it's too risky because the other cards we have on hand are a king and an ace. If we go sideways and we don't get a lower card to put right here, then we risk putting a high card on an empty space, and we don't want that. So let's just go forward. The AI is going to go forward, of course. And now this one we can afford to put on a side lane. Now depending on what the AI does next, okay, look at that. The ace here is a no-brainer. This is the card I have to play with. You could go for differentials, but that's basically asking for a kill. The AI will definitely ace a king if I would have placed it there. Okay, I don't have anything else but to move forward. I don't want to put a 10 on an empty space. Ooh, wow, look at that. I ended up doing it anyways. You see what I mean? This ace was right there from the start. I don't like starting with so high cards and not being able to move forward. I'm afraid I may end up putting more than a few on empty spaces like I did with this jack. But if you look at the cards he already played, we're doing fine. We're doing very good. We don't want to give in because there are two very low cards waiting to be taken. We can't allow that. And we got another ace right on time. Because, you know, what, as I told you, back-to-back aces is very strong. Like, in general, when I have back-to-back aces against the AI, I win 90% of the time when I take when I don't take kings. If I take one king, then it raises something like 95%. If I take two kings with back-to-back aces, it's like 99% of the time I win. Like, you can, something has to be very wrong for you to lose with back-to-back aces while taking kings, the opponent's kings. So we're doing good. It's just a matter of going tit for tat, and we'll win this. I don't want to take that 9 with a king, so I'm just gonna play these two back here. Now that I can take easily. That I feel more comfortable doing. And you have to consider the AI only has one ace left. It already played one here. It played both kings. So if I play this king here, it will have to decide between taking this king here or that queen over there. And there's another king we haven't drawn yet. So we're doing great. Oh, by the way, I could have gone for these 7 here or here, but I wanted to go for, you know, what we call differentials, trying to keep the difference between the card you're playing and the card you're taking over to the minimum. Of course, we ended up doing it anyways because I'm not gonna take that king with these 9. I'm not gonna use this king to take over this 9 or this 8 or this 2 or whatever, anything on the board. But just so you know, you could have gone either way. Okay, so look at what the AI just did. It decided to go for the queen. So it's not gonna take over this king or this one. Now, the only thing you can think of right now, you can think about right now, is how to end with a Techu because we have a pretty strong lead. I need to save an empty space. And this is gonna be it. Okay, the AI is probably gonna take this 7 and then take with that chain here, it's gonna take over these 3 and 2. There's a 2-point difference here, and it won't matter. Oh, I hope to God it doesn't take it with a 3. Oh my God, it screwed over my Techu. Something which is kind of a known bug that developers have not decided to fix yet is that when you do when you do a Techu, you win with a Techu, but the opponent went last. If their move is also a Techu, then it cancels out your Techu. Like if it plays a 3 over 2 or just a 2 on an empty space, it will cancel out your Techu. So that's something to watch out for. Okay, we have pretty high cards here. We're just gonna play the lowest one, which is a 10. Right now we're playing very hard cards on empty spaces, but the AI is also not doing very well in that regard. You don't want to go for a jack here when the AI is going right, straight in the middle. When it's going straight ahead, you want to overkill it with an ace if you have it, of course. Don't give him a chance. Now here you can gamble for it. That here it doesn't matter. Middle spot, never. Okay, so we ended up playing this 9 here because we're not gonna play it back in the home row. When you have like 8, 9, 10 or higher cards, you want to look for confrontation. You want to put it next to very close to your opponent, not on your home row or close to your home row. Okay, so this is the only sensible move right now. Of course, I'm not gonna use a king to take over that 10. A queen is more appropriate, and I don't want to play a 7 on an empty space, so let's just move forward. I don't want to do that because I would rather do what I'm gonna do next, which is gonna take this 7, this 5 with the 7. It's a better use of your cards this way. And we'll keep taking over. We're dominating basically. The AI has been very unlucky with the draw. Okay, it drew the first ace. And we're gonna make a connection here. And we're still taking cards. You don't back down when you have a strong lead, when you start it very strong. Okay, this is a very strong, a very hard decision to make. You either go offensively or defensively. If you look at the board, the AI already played an ace over one of our queens. Let me see. Yeah, the other one was taken here. So it's just a matter of fact before the AI draws another another ace, and takes over that king. On the other hand, if you go, that would be your train of thought. My train of thought, if I was going defensively. If I would go offensively, I would say, this gives me access to the home row. All of these cards here. Of course, it's not a guarantee that you will take over that spot indefinitely, or for the remainder of the match. But easy access to somebody's home row is really, really strong. A really strong and very aggressive move. This time we're gonna go defensively. Why? Because I don't want to give him access to these very low cards here. I have already played very strong cards, which he just drew it. Like, how unfortunate for us. Anyway, let's just skip. Okay, look at that. We drew another ace. I'm sorry, the other queen, the other king, and now we can stop the enemy in his tracks here. He's gonna defend this column, this line here. Of course, that still leaves me with these two cards vulnerable, if you could say, but in order to do that, he would have to play on empty spaces first. So it's his loss. And this is exactly what it was good for us, because now I get to create a 2-point lead, which I'm going to try to maintain for as long as possible. And that's it. Now, we're down to the last 3 moves of the game, and we only have a 1-point lead. That's usually not good. Okay, we ended in a tie. Not bad. So far we've had 2 ties. Sorry, 2 wins and 1 tie. Let's keep it going. Again, drawing 3 cards, and we play the lowest card on hand. When you have these cards here, this 5, 6, or anything 7 or lower, if you have 2 low cards, of course, then you can go for a side strategy early on, trying to build a backup lane if anything goes south here with this middle confrontation. Which, wow, this is a hard one. The AI is going straight in the middle, so we know for a fact it has strong cards to back up such a move. And the card that I have is something that as soon as I play it, I know the AI will take it, will take it over with an ace. That's a given. But I have no other choice. I can play on empty spaces with a jack or a queen or a king. So let's go for that middle spot. It's definitely going to take it. And now we ended up doing it anyway. We ended up playing a jack on an empty space. But of course, we didn't know that. We were hoping to get that 3 before. I think I would have played that 3 on an empty space and let the AI take over that space here with an ace or whatever card he decided to play with, rather than playing a jack on an empty space. Now, the reason I decided to move forward here is because the AI played a 4 on an empty space. He played a 5 here and then played a 4 on the other side. Meanwhile, the cards I had on my hand were 8, queen, and king. If I decided to play on empty spaces, maybe here, because I was able to play up on top of above these 3 here, on top of a 3. If I decided to play here, there's a chance the AI would have played lower cards on the back while I was playing middle to high cards on empty spaces. I won't allow that. I can't allow that. So we played the 8. He played a jack over the 8, which plays exactly into our strategy here of putting these high cards, to good use. And of course, wow, imakita. Now I have secured this lane, this side lane, and he has secured this middle one, which, as I've told you before, is a very strong strategy. I win most of the games, like 90% of the games, when I have exactly something like this. Let's see if I can turn this around. Right now it's a 2-point lead. And this is my chance to come back from this. The ideal situation would have been for me to play this king over a queen, but of course I'm not gonna wait for a queen to come even if I had it, I think the smart move would have been to play this king here because the AI has already played both kings. I'm sorry, both aces. So this king became an ace right now. Nobody, he won't be able to take it, no matter what card he plays. And this 2-point deficit just became a tie. And let's see. Gotta keep going. Ooh, this is bad. We need the other. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but it still works. I don't want to play that. I didn't want to play that ace just yet because I wanted to play. I wanted to take over that queen with the other king I haven't played and which I haven't drawn yet. But we can't afford it to lose these slow cards here. We'd rather go on the offensive, especially when it's such a small lead. Okay, that one doesn't bother me because he's not gonna take over that. He's not gonna cut me off with that ace here. So that's a very strong. That's a stronghold I have here, literally. I could play this 10 here easily, but we're gonna play a differentials game. It's a 1-point lead. Okay, you could say this is the moment of truth because I could play this here and block him off. I lose, of course. I would forfeit the chance of taking over that queen, but in this strategy here, that's not necessarily a bad thing. However, I want him to play that king in a position where it's not gonna block my strategy, where I won't have to worry about that king. So I'm just gonna play this 10 back here, hoping that he uses the king to take it over. He didn't. And the game is a tie. We know the AI has a king on hand, or will have a king on hand after he draws that last card. So what are my possible moves here? I can play the king here. He may consider taking that 10. I block him off with this 6 over the 5. But the problem is he may have cards to take over the 6, which will put us back in a tie. And then I have to play this 5 on an empty space. And if he takes it over, it's over for me. The same goes if I play it backwards, like playing this king here on top of the queen and then taking over the 6. It's not exactly a block, but the AI is probably going to do the same because either way I play this, either playing the king here or playing the king here, he will still have access to this 10. This way or that way, he will still have access to this king, to this 10. Now, cutting someone off usually puts them in a, how can I say this, in a more desperate position, when you're being cut off. So that's what I'm going for. Even if I don't take the wing, I put pressure on him. This is the moment of truth. As I told you, he took it over. Let's see what happens now. Okay, a tie. Well, 2 wins and 2 ties. This is the best thing that we could hope for, considering the AI had back-to-back aces. I told you that's a very strong position, and coming up with a tie against this, that's a win for me. That's a win of my book. Okay, middle cards, middle to high cards. That's one of the worst hands to start with. Oh, that's not good. And the AI is playing lower cards than me right now. Okay, I don't really like playing around, as you people know here in this community. I don't like playing around, putting cards on side lanes to no end until I finally get the card that I want. Like an ace. I don't like doing that because I don't like waiting around. The AI is definitely buying time, and I don't want to give him a chance to buy time until he gets the card that it wants, because I'm leaving things to chance. That's my rationality here. I don't want to leave things to chance. I want to have a I want to be able to make a decision whether on the outcome of the game proactively, not passively, just waiting around. That's usually the way I want to go with this. Now, if you consider that I played 7 and 8, which was lower than the 2 and the 6 the AI played first, but now it started playing higher cards than me, then I will consider this for a moment. Not for too long, but I will consider it for a moment. Okay, and now that's tables have turned. Now I'm playing higher cards than him, so I'm going for the attack. And look at what happened. He went right in the middle because he got the cards he wanted. Definitely. Told you. Luckily for us, it decided to cut me off instead of defending his lane. We're just gonna follow along, because we didn't want to spend high cards on relatively low cards, low ones. And it worked better for us. It decided to play a jack over whatever I had up there, like a 6 or a 5. So let's just keep playing differentials. Imakita. We can easily do this here or go differentials. I'm sorry, going here is playing differentials, trying to keep differentials to a minimum, or just try to cut him off immediately. I'm gonna play here because I wanted to play an ace, and then I will cut him off after I play the ace. Exactly what I told you. Now that we drew the ace, whatever he uses to take over this 9, I'm gonna ace it without question. Let's hope it's not an ace. Let's hope it's not another ace, because that will, cut us off. Okay, it's not. Perfect. That was perfectly for our strategy here. Now we can use the king to take over any car up there, but no, I'm not gonna waste the king on such low cards. This 8, I can use it. Okay, another low card. Let's just keep playing on the back. He has no safe spaces, so wherever he plays, there's a confrontation to be had. Okay, so right now we do have to consider cutting him off. If we don't do it, he's gonna do it next. I mean, he's definitely going for that 10. And remember that I decided to take this queen with an ace. So that means I could waste, if you will, this king on any card. Because I took over the other queen here, so you know, there's no need to wait there's no need to wait for that king to be taken over by any other card. Or I should say, there's no need for me to wait until I can take over a king from his with this a queen from his with this king. Now we're in big trouble here because he has access to these two here. He went for it, and whew, we got the win. You see what you can just buy time endlessly, because if the opponent gets his cards first, his or her cards first, you're done. I don't want to leave things to chance. Not in a million years. Okay, I thought it was going to be a tie, but good luck. We got the win, so we're 3-2, 3 wins, 2 ties, no losses. Good. Okay, Icos. There's something very interesting I have to explain here. So when you're like this, if I had drawn a low card like a 5 or 6, things would have been different. But when you have kings, face cards, kings, queens, jacks, aces, then you want to play on the same lane, the same column where the AI is playing, because you want to face it forward. Now this is the interesting part here, an even more interesting part. You're playing first. I mean, I'm playing first, so obviously I'm gonna use this 5 here. So the AI, there's a good chance the AI will choose to play on a different lane than I am, and it all depends on what it has on hand. If it has strong cards, it will go right straight to the middle. If it doesn't have strong cards, it will play sideways, in this side lane. I'm gonna gamble. This is just a total guess. I'm gonna gamble, or I'm gonna guess that it doesn't have strong cards, very strong cards like queens. Sorry, not queens, kings and aces. That's what the AI generally considers strong cards, to go right in the middle, to go straight in the middle. So I'm gonna guess it doesn't have that high of a card on hand, and I'm gonna play these 5 here. I guess right. So at this point, you could just play around, as I said, just buying time until you get a more desirable card. But we're holding kings and queens, so we're just gonna go forward. This one is a huge gamble. Sometimes it does play side lanes, even though it has a queen, or sorry, an ace. So this one is a huge gamble that I never recommend you do. If you have the ace, play the ace. I'm gonna gamble it and see what happens. You see? It was a huge gamble. If it would have worked, that would have been almost game over for him. Like a car, strong car up there. But now that put us in you could say, in a disadvantage. It's just a one point lead, but we ended up playing 2 9s at empty spaces while he played only 5s and 4s. So I'm just waiting for him to take over this queen with an ace, with a king, but he didn't. Okay, right now I can't. That was the only move, sensible move for me. Playing that jack, ace over the jack, because the other cards I had was another ace and a jack. I wasn't gonna play a jack on an empty space, so that was a no-brainer for me. Besides, despite that huge gamble, it's still a 1 point lead, so we're not doing that bad just yet. Mm, if I had something to take over this 8, I would have gone for it instead of playing the ace on the home row, because in general you don't want to play your aces in your home row, even if it's to take the opponent's kings. That's not a very strong position, but the alternative would have been to play a card on an empty space, which would give him access to these 2 and 3 here. We can't allow that. Okay, we are in a tied score right now. Mm, and we are in trouble because I don't want to play 7 or 8 on an empty space, but at the same time I don't want to play that jack over an 8. That's the only other move I have. So I'm gonna go with this 7 here on an empty space, which I don't want to do. Look at that. He's playing lower cards than me. Okay, so now we have an opening here. It ran out of safe spaces, so it ended up playing there. I know he has a king that I won't be able to take. Wow, look at the cards we drew. 2, 3, and 6. And he has a king on hand. It's over for us. And this is the first loss of the evening because of that huge gamble that I don't recommend. So that's why it's a bad move. So again, we started with the lowest card on hand because we had 2, 9, and jack, and then we later drew this ace here. Now, as I told you, we usually want to give the opponent the chance to make the first move. Let's see what it does. It does move forward with the jack, so we're just gonna take it over with the ace. And we're not gonna play these 3 here on an empty space while it's playing relatively higher cards than me. Let's keep playing cards on empty spaces. Okay, so now I have to take it over. I have to take his card. Ooh, this is a hard one. I know if I play this king here, he's gonna take it over with a jack, but then the alternative would be to play these 10 over a 3, or even worse, over an empty space. Let's play this here. Oh, look at that. He didn't have the ace. Okay, good. Let's just keep playing differentials. He just drew the ace, and right now we have a 5, and that's a much better card to take over that 3. 10 times better. Okay, we're winning this exchange. I usually don't want to go that deep, especially when there's a 3-point difference between the cards I'm playing and the card I'm taking over. So let's just play this here on an empty space. These 4 here. Same situation. You don't want to go that deep. Okay, there are no safe spaces right now. Now this is the same difference, but again, it's not. We're not going deep. We have a 2-point lead, and I could technically take over that 10 with a king. Yeah, let's do that. It's just gonna give him access to these low cards here. Oh, so okay, it's not bad. It's not the end of the world. We still have a lead, a strong one. It's just 2 points, but it's a lead, and we're gonna have access to these low cards in his home row. So this is all we need. We don't need to design a complex strategy on this one. Uh-oh. He has a chance to tie the game, but it doesn't have the cards. And he stole another Techu. And I think we have time for about two more games. So let's see if we end up with a win. Okay, here's an interesting scenario where you don't want to play the lowest card on hand, which I told you there were exceptions for earlier in the stream. So here's the situation. In general, you want to go with the lowest card on hand. But when you have an ace, you want to give the opponent the AI specifically. Maybe against another person, it's a totally different game plan. But against the AI, you want to give the AI the first move. So you're gonna have to play the second lowest card, or I should say, yeah, when you have an ace, the second lowest card. Unless you have 2 aces on hand, then you have to play the second lowest card on your hand to give him a chance to go first. And this is exactly what we accomplish here. And the reason we do this is the same reason we've played in a side lane in the past. It's because you want to give the AI the chance to make the first move, and based on what they do, either go forward or go sideways, then you know what cards he has on hand. He plays sideways, that means he doesn't have a king or an ace. So we are the one going forward, and we're gonna take over this queen. Okay, these 5 here, I don't like playing 5s or 6, maybe 7 and upwards. You can consider it, but I don't like playing cards that very low next to the ace when you're in a situation like this, because you know for a fact it's gonna take it, and I don't want to give him a free card. You see, if I had played that 5 up here, it would have taken with this. It would have taken it with the 7. So I'm just gonna keep playing cards on empty spaces. He's probably gonna go. Yep, he went for it. Now I don't have a card to take over that 10, but look at what we've done. While I played 4s and 5s, he played 8, 7, 10. You know. So what we're gonna do is something that works only with the AI, but and only in some cases. We're gonna play this 6 here. There's a good chance the AI is gonna go for the 4 instead of the 6 I'm gonna play. If it does, then I will take over that 8 with the 10. I just, you know, one of the 10s I have on my hand, and that's exactly what happened. We're gonna, okay, and look at that. It used a queen to take over a 4. So it wasn't so hard, wasn't it? At this point, you could either, you know, keep going the tit for tat, or just play on empty spaces, hoping that it's gonna play, you know, a higher card on empty space, and it just happened. Okay, right now we could still go with the 6 on an empty space. That's not a high card. That's a low card you can consider putting on empty space, But we drew the other ace. We drew our other ace, and he played 2 kings already. There are 2 kings that I can choose to take, and that's what I'm going for. Now the question is, which one should I take? This one is more aggressively. This one is more defensively. I like both. I'm going to go with the defensive move right now, because when I play this king here, if I play this king here, he will obviously going to play a card on an empty space here. Now I don't have any cards to take over these 7 right now. I may draw it next turn, but that's not a guarantee. I may not have a card to take over that 7, and if it happens, then he will have a chance to take over the 10, or even worse, take over that king. I can't allow that, so we're just gonna go with the ace here, the safest move. Okay, he played a 6 here. We're just gonna keep playing on empty spaces. He's playing the same game we are. And we're just gonna keep playing on empty spaces. And look at that. It ended up playing higher cards than we did. So now we go for taking over his card. Don't be concerned about him cutting you off. If it does cut you off with the 2, you still have this side lane to come back, and you can actually cut him off here. But it didn't do that this turn, so we're just gonna go here. Okay, so now we have a 2-point lead. You have to be very careful here. He hasn't played any aces, and there's a very good chance he already has one on hand. But remember, we have a 2-point lead. We just gotta keep the tit for tat going for 5 more turns, or 6 more turns, and we're done. So we're gonna go with that. Okay, he played the first ace, and I think this is gonna be it for us. Meaning that even if it takes the other, you know, even if it takes that queen with the other ace, then I still have a chance to block him off. I will still block him off here, and that's game over for him. Good. And I think we have one more time for one more before we leave. And let's hope it's a win. Remember, we don't end streams with losses. So let's try to make this one count. Ooh, the same situation I just explained before. You don't want to play the lowest card on hand. Jack is a very high card. So you have to think it very carefully if that's what you're gonna do. In this case, we're gonna do it. We don't want to. Ooh, that would have been even playing that five would have been even worse because then we would have ended up playing. Uh, it would have been an ICO and then playing on two lanes. Starting with two lanes is not good against the AI. And everything's pretty much straightforward. You know, it decided to play sideways. It doesn't have strong cards. We're just gonna go forward. At this point, this is another gamble. You could play the king. We know for a fact it didn't drew an ace. It hadn't drawn an ace on right now, but it can technically it can draw it in the next turn. So this one is a huge gamble. In general, you want to go for the ace. Okay, this time it didn't happen. It worked well for us. Now we're gonna use this 9 to take over the 7. And then whatever he plays on top of it, I'm gonna ace. Ooh, another gamble. Another gamble. This one I'm not gonna make. This is the last game of the stream. I don't want this to backfire and then lose and end up playing another game because we lost out of a huge gamble. Not gonna happen. Maybe privately you can consider that. Yeah, you know, the gamble was playing the queen over here in hoping that it would play a king with the possibility that it may have a king on hand, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to gamble. It had it, but again, I didn't want to gamble for it. Not in the very last game of the stream. We already paid the price of a huge gamble before. We're not going to do that again. Okay, this one is pretty straightforward, guys. It's just a tit for tat. Well, not even tit for tat. Yeah, he's just backing off. He's not getting any cards. Okay, our luck may have started to run out, but we keep fighting. Keep the pressure on. Okay, that's the other ace. I won't have to worry about any other aces anymore. I'm sorry, any other kings, not aces. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? And we have a 4-point lead. Very strong lead. This is the move I would generally like to make. Let's see what happens. We still have a 3-point lead. I don't know what he's trying, but I'm not gonna allow that. It's a 4-point lead. The only way we can lose right now is if we end up discarding cards. And that's not gonna happen. Very well, guys. I think we only had one loss and then like 6 wins and 2 ties or 3 ties. Anyway, we did really good today. I hope you guys enjoyed all of this. Just think about, you know, not only what you have on hand, but what you may draw and what you think your opponent might have on hand at certain times. So That's Techu basically. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Download the Techu app in Google or your Apple Store, Google Play Store or your Apple Store. Join our Discord community. This is how you can join me here if you want to play against me or anybody else. We share everything about the game in our Discord, and you can be up to date. You can keep up to date with the news and updates for Techu as it is being developed and fixed, and everything else related to the game. Anyway, guys, hope you guys had a great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been a great hour, a little bit over an hour of your weekly Techu Tuesday. I'm Alvaro, your world champion and host. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.